So what I've done, I've just stood in ice cold water. Douchebag, look.
My name is Andy Hornby, photographer and vlogger. 17 years ago I started teaching myself photography. Today I travel the UK as a professional wedding photographer, landscape photographer and filmmaker. Learn from my experiences, my mistakes and my tips and advice.
Extra layers because it's about 10 to 6 in the morning, and that can mean only one thing, right? We're going for an early morning photo shoot, sunrise. I'm staying local. Obviously we're in full swing lockdown 2.0 and can't meet up with people. Usually Fridays my mornings to meet up and have breakfast with a good friend. Unfortunately I can't do that, so I'm going to start recording more videos on my Fridays. So I'm going to be going down to Eastney Pier. Been there a few times. I'm supposed to be doing a photo walk there in a couple of weeks. I don't know whether that's going to happen, but I want to get down there today. I've been watching the weather. It's going to be really nice for a really nice uninterrupted, very little cloud in the sky, sunrise. I'm going to do a time lapse. I haven't done a time lapse for ages. Let's do this. Okay, so apps. I use all the apps in the world. Everyone knows that I like to plan my shoots, even if it's just the day before. Last night I planned this shoot. I knew the tide was going to be out. It's going to be fully out at 7:30, which is half an hour after sunrise. I knew that the wind was going to be really nice. The weather's not too bad. There was going to be no clouds in the sky. And there's not above us. There's no clouds, 0 clouds above us. But on the horizon, there's a massive, great big cloud that I'm just hoping is moving out of the way. So you can't always trust the apps. It looks like it's moving north, and if it is, I mean, there's already quite a bit of colour in the sky anyway because of the clouds there. So I'm going to want to get out pretty much now and get set up. It's only 6:15 and I've got 45 minutes till sunrise, but if I can get some of that colour in the cloud, bingo, I'm going to do a nice long time lapse. So I'm going to get on. I'm going to, fingers crossed, hopefully it moves out of the way. I think it's the sun's going to kind of crest sort of at the southern end of that cloud. If that cloud is moving, hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to be okay. Let's do this. Like a tequila sunrise. Really nice sky. And if I put you over to there, you kind of see how nice the sky is kind of going to turn out. Hopefully the sun is going to come up about there in my current composition. Hopefully. I think I've judged it just about right. Hopefully that cloud is kind of moving sort of northwest, which means it might move out the way. You never know. There was a bit of colour in the clouds earlier, but most of the colour now is on the horizon. There's a bit of a mist, bit of a haze on the horizon there, look. And it's going to be quite nice. Fingers crossed. I don't know. I've set up my time lapse. This is the problem with time lapses when you're doing this kind of day to night and night to day time lapses. You never really know what's going to happen, to be fair. I've set up to shoot 300 shots at 5 seconds. It's going to give me about 25 minutes worth of shooting time. And then once the sun starts to come up, I can adjust and make changes, because I do my Holy Grail time lapse is slightly different than just shooting straight through. I'll just start another one. I'll probably have a filter on there. I'll put my 6-stop on there so that when the sun comes up, it's not too glary on the camera, and I can still get a good sort of second exposure, which is kind of my sweet spot. I'm trying not to walk around my camera too much, because we are on sodden sand, and you may move the camera when you're doing time lapses. Remember, golden rule, it can't move. If it moves, you have a lot of issues to sort out in post. It's not too bad, because Photoshop can kind of adjust your pictures to align. When you bring them in, it just takes a hell of a long time. And imagine I'm shooting that on the A7R4. That's going to take bloody ages. So I'm trying to do as much as I can in camera this morning. I've got a composition kind of like this, so I'm not where I actually want it to be. I want it to be further over here, because when I'm down here, you can get the sunrise at the moment, kind of just in the middle of the bleachers and the pier. Let me have a look. Let me try and come over and show you. Hopefully I don't get wet. I'm only wearing trainers. I'm absolutely frozen. I've got my gloves. So from about here, the sun is going to rise kind of up through there. In a few weeks' time, I had it down perfect for my photo walk. You got the sun, you know, it's going to rise further south, so you can actually be about here and have quite a bit of leeway in terms of the sun rising up through there. But we're not quite there yet, so the sun would have risen through there. The problem is I can't find a good composition down kind of here. I want to be somewhere near these things, you know, get some leading lines, but that's not working. So what I've done is I've used sort of the edge of this bleacher, this last bleacher here, and this little stream that you see down there. So I'm using that as a bit of a leading line into the picture. You can just about see it on the right hand edge of my picture when one comes up there. You see that? Maybe it's all right, I don't know. And it's all a matter of fingers crossed. I just don't know what's going to happen. I'm shooting on the A7R4, like I said. This thing is an absolute beast. I love this camera. The drawback obviously are the file sizes. The file size is absolutely massive to do a time lapse. I'm hopefully going to get about 600 images. Time lapse is going to be an issue. Always going to be an issue. My workflow on the A7 III for a time lapse of about 600 images from start to finish of editing is about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It's double that with this, unfortunately, and that's purely down to import and export times and other bits and pieces. So you just have to be a bit wary of that. That's the only thing really. But I'm using the internal intervalometer on that thing. You don't need an external one. That thing does it all in camera, which is another crazy, awesome thing for your landscape photographer to have. You know, less kit. My hands can be in my pockets. They're not in my pockets, I'm holding you. But still, the sea is right out. I can see over on Hayling, there are people over there walking out onto the dunes. If you've ever done that, I did that when I was a kid. I used to live over Hayling Island. That's good fun. Just have to be really careful. When that tide turns, it turns fast and you get stranded. I don't know how many people I've known to get stranded out there. I'm not one of them, by the way. I was one of the ones that always swam back. Anyway, I'm going to get on. I said I'm going to get on. I'm going to stand here for the next hour doing absolutely nothing, waiting for this camera to do its thing, and then I'm going to have a wander around, maybe get some more pictures. I'll come back to you a little bit later, and hopefully we've got something usable and I haven't frozen to death. See you later. Having a look around here. I mean, it has been some time since I've been down here, but it looks like there's been more, you know, like erosion with the sand and stuff. This, what do you call it? It's like a boat jetty thing. It wasn't exposed as much as it is now. Last time, I'm pretty certain there wasn't that much exposed. And when you look at all these rocks, there's certainly a lot more rocks. These things here that come up from the bleacher, like I said, I wanted to use as leading lines. I'm almost certain it didn't come all the way this far up. So I think there's been quite a bit of erosion. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you quickly while I'm here about COVID. Lockdown 2.0. For God's sake. Just got back into the swing of things. My workshops have now had to be cancelled for this month. It's crazy time for everyone. But it doesn't mean to say you can't get out. As a landscape photographer, you know, the rules are you can get out for unlimited exercise. You know, I know it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's not preferable to be out 6 o'clock in the morning, especially when the weather's starting to turn. It's absolutely freaking freezing. There's someone up there. Yeah, exercise, unlimited exercise. Get out. Keep safe though. You know, always have a mask with you in case you need to go in the shop, get a cup of coffee. I've got one, don't worry about that. And yeah, stay safe and have fun. There's another photographer up there. I don't know who that is. It might be a local chap. We'll see. Anyway, I'll be back in a bit. Bye. Okay, so I finished my first shoot this morning. I'm going to do a little bit of an outro in a minute, but I have met a gentleman this morning called Pete. Pete, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Pete. Nice to meet you.
Have you got an Instagram yet?
No, I haven't. I've just started.
Are you going to get an Instagram?
Oh, I think I will do. I'll have
Absolutely.
To, yes.
We've had a good old chat this morning, and to be fair, I ran out of space on my SD card, which is a mistake. I left all of my Dirtle Door stuff on the SD card, so I've kind of run out of space. But I have taken some more shots on another SD card, some other bits and pieces, but I'm going to get going now. Pete, it's been a pleasure to meet you, buddy.
You too, you too.
Hopefully your photography gets up and running,
Yeah,
and I'm sure we'll see some pictures come out soon, hopefully.
Thank you, Andy.
Take it easy, buddy, all right? Okay, I am off, freezing. My foot is wet. If you saw my little video I put on my workshop group this morning, you see that I stepped in a massive puddle of water. That was about an hour and a half ago, and my toes are freezing. Really good morning. I was a bit disappointed with the sunrise, to be fair. I think I got enough of the time lapse to put something together. I'm sure it'll look okay. That'll be coming up shortly, so don't go anywhere. But meeting someone like Pete, who started out with his photography, you know, just before lockdown this year, sort of January, February time, you know, it's refreshing to get those kind of new sort of how he's kind of taken his photography and you know, it's becoming a real good passion for him. And talking to someone like that, it's just, you know, it's quite inspiring to think about how, you know, how I started, and you know, and looking back at those days when it was, you know, it was a really good passion. It still is a passion, obviously. But yeah, it's quite nice to obviously I like to meet people, you all know that, and talk to people. You know, obviously at the moment it's really difficult, you can't actually meet up with someone, but that was a chance passing, just a hello and stuff like that, and have a quick chat. So yeah, so a few things to remember when you're doing these things. Bring an extra pair of socks would be a good one. Boots, wear boots, you know, waterproof boots if you're down a beach. I didn't put my boots on. I don't even know if they're in the car, to be fair. I should have put them on. Decent tripod, try not to get it wet. Obviously when you get back to your bag, get all the sand off your tripod, get the sand off everything before you put anything away. It's freezing this morning, so when you get home, don't take your camera straight out your bag. Leave your bag somewhere to warm up nice and gently before you take anything out. Don't go straight for your SD card, otherwise you'll potentially get some condensation in and around your lens, maybe, perhaps. Just be really careful. Just a few little tips, and yeah, just keep having fun, guys. Get out there. It is locked down, but we're still allowed to do some exercise. Just make sure you're safe. That's all. Right, from Eastney, quite a nice sunrise, give or take, for a bit of cloud. Yeah, stick around. Here's that time lapse. still here. Nice. It's good that you're still here because I want to tell you a little something. Those people who are avid followers of me, I want to give a little something back, and to do that it means working alongside you online because a lot of you can't make it to my workshop. So I've just set up a Patreon account. It is patreon.com/Andy Hornby Photos. So Patreon is a platform where we can create stuff together even if you're halfway across the globe, and I can learn and teach alongside you, literally alongside you. There's so many things I can do to help you get your photography just to that next level. It is awesome. If you can make it to one of my workshops, I've got a website. Go to ahphotographyworkshops.uk and have a look, see what I've got going on. But if you can't make it to one of my workshops, Patreon is a really good platform where we can create stuff together and we can take your photography to another level. So if you like what I'm doing and you want me to learn alongside yourself, see you there. Take it easy, have a good day. Bye.